Hey everybody, and welcome back to Griffin, Indiana. Hope your Wednesday is doing well. We are here, of course, in midwinter. You've been following along, you know the process. One video per game day. So Wednesdays are always the middle phase of the season. And it is time to sell our leftover corn from that corn contract that we did back there in early autumn, I believe it was. Let's see, there we go. We're getting our corn loaded in here. And we're going to have 8,000 liters of corn left over once we are done with this load. Now, we're not going to make quite as much money as we did yesterday per load with our canola. Corn isn't quite as valuable, but it will be good money because remember, we didn't have to spend a dime to get this. We got 38,000 liters of corn as extra off of a contract. And quite frankly, right now, it is selling at close to, I think, double what it was selling for back then. So now is the time to be selling this stuff for sure. Now you can see our bank account is $162,982. So we did achieve our goal of getting over $160,000 yesterday, thanks to 3 fertilizing contracts. But before that, this video is brought to you by E-Man Hoover. Thank you for being a farm baron. But today's going to be a little bit of a weird day. There aren't any real contracts to do. There are some cultivation contracts, but the ground is frozen. There are some baling contracts, but the grass is knocked back and therefore is not going to be something that we can basically do. I do just want to check and validate. Country Mills. Yep. We got to take our long trip out of town to sell our corn. So yeah, 27 degrees. Air temp, 28 degree ground temp. We got frozen ground. And the weather has been most excellent this winter. Let's take a look at that weather. Perfect today. Perfect tomorrow. That is late winter. And then we have Tuesday, first day of spring. Wednesday, second day of spring. Thursday, third day of spring. So we got rain mid and late spring. And then we have rain mid-summer. But early summer is looking pretty good. So today the goal is to sell our corn and then see if we can't sell a few loads of silage bales, because we've got a whole ton of silage bales. I think we said we had 180 some bales made that are scattered around the field. So that is 24 bales per load. So it's 96 bales for 4 loads. So that is like 8 loads of bales just scattered around the field. And then we have another 7 loads of bales up along the fence row. So that is a lot of loading of bales and running them down to the sell point. So we're going to split that up over a couple days, because there isn't much else going on over winter. I mean, we are definitely not going to be cutting any trees down. Forestry is not a thing on this particular playthrough. I will be curious on how your all's 3-day seasons playthroughs have been. I know there are some folks that are playing along, either on this map or on a different map, but would be curious. Now that maybe you are 3 years in, maybe you've moved ahead in your gameplay beyond me. $14,000 in harvest income, pretty good. But I'm curious, how has your all's experience been with respect to your 3-day seasons playthrough? Because we are, as I mentioned, on Monday, 5 weeks away from Farm Sim 22. This is the type of seasonal cycle play that we're going to be experiencing. I have to say, I am pretty surprised at what we're accomplishing here at usually 5 times speed. A lot of the time, our clock is set to 5 times speed. There have been a few instances on busy days that we'll set it to 2 times speed. But overall, we really haven't run into an issue. Now, the caveat is, and some of you probably will be already talking about that, is the fact that we're not farming big fields and we're not farming a whole lot of the map. That's on purpose. So strategically, I've decided that we're going to do some modest farming here. I didn't want to try to go crazy and own half or all of the map and farm all of the fields, because I felt that just really was maybe a little bit ridiculous given the time factor that we're working with here. But I've been able to afford what I need to afford when I need to afford it without having to go really in debt. We did take out a loan, so we didn't necessarily do a debt-free playthrough. But we have limited our loan taking to pretty minimal amounts, and we have been very lucky with a few profitable contracts coming up at the right moments, which has been quite handy. That was weird. I don't know if it stuttered for you in the recording or not, but the gameplay just got stuttery for a few seconds there. But at any rate, things are going around pretty good. Now, if you are keen of eye, you'll see the current time and date in the upper right corner. You'll know that I am recording these a decent amount ahead of time. And there's a reason for that. The reason is that, well, I am going to be busy with, there we go. I'm going to be busy with other games. And I'm going to be busy with life in general, right? And honestly, I want to focus on a few other things before FS22 launches and before we start really focusing on FS22 content. So I'm trying to get this play series through ahead of time so that we can basically have as many videos in the can as possible. That's what they say. That's why we're really not talking to you about Farm Sim 22 news specifically, because what are we going to know 5 weeks out? I don't know. I appreciate if you watch content creators that are capable of producing the video the day before or even the day of release. Congratulations to them. They have far more time on their hands than I have, and have the ability to time manage very well. Not saying that I don't have the ability to time manage. I don't have the time to manage, let alone try to time manage it. So we're going to batch video production when I can. and hopefully get a nice buffer of a few weeks in the can here so that we can focus on other things like NASCAR 21, which should be coming out very, very soon. In fact, my weeks are correct. Friday, we're going to be giving away Farming Simulator 22 on October 22nd. So either my weeks are completely off and I've already given away a copy. If I have, kind of revealing to you how not sure I am on exactly what day this is coming out. Other than I know that it's coming out on a Wednesday. But yeah, I think this is the 20th. So Friday we're gonna do Farming Simulator 22 giveaway during a live stream in the evening. Now, you don't have to be present on the live stream to win. I know some people will do that to try to boost their viewing numbers, but the way I have set it up is you have an entire month to register for the drawing. We'll do the drawing at the end of the stream on Friday the 22nd. And then I will email the winner that weekend with the information that they have won and with their game code. Now, I have started to think that maybe, since a lot of people have had a chance to pre-order, that what I'll offer is a choice between either FS22 the game or FS22 Season Pass Year 1. It's up to you. If you already pre-ordered the game, then maybe you'd be interested in winning the Season Pass, or maybe you want to win a second copy for some reason. But the choice is going to be up to you. So if the winner is not in stream, then I'll reach out to the winner and basically ask, hey, you're one. Which do you want? Do you want the game or do you want the Season Pass? The prize will be awarded via the Giants eShop. So you'll get a eShop code and a link to download the game or Season Pass from Giants. Just to clear up some confusion, the eShop code is not redeemable on Steam, nor is it redeemable on Epic. It is only redeemable at the Giants eShop. In addition, if you own the Steam copy of the game, or the Epic copy of the game, or physical media of the game, you can use Giants DLC or the Season Pass from the eShop. You do not have to get it from Steam if you've got the Steam game. Now, the reverse is not true. If you have the Giants eShop copy of the game, you cannot buy Steam DLC because the game will not see where basically the Steam DLC is located. But if you have the Steam version of the game, the Epic version of the game, physical copy version of the game, you can use Giants DLC directly from their eShop, because when you activate and install the DLC via the eShop, it basically goes out, looks at your system, and locates the game files and places the DLC where it needs to be. So I've heard that said before, where it's like, oh, I have the Steam game, so I can't get it from Giants related to DLC. And that's a falsehood. You can indeed do that. It's not a problem whatsoever. The only catch is you need to keep your activation code and the URL to the eShop handy, because if you lose either of those, you're going to find it awful difficult to re-download your content should you need to do that. So, a little PSA there on the Giants eShop. and such. And what I do, the way I keep track of all of my Giants DLC codes and game codes from the various Platinum editions, FS19, all the DLCs from FS17 and FS19, and soon to be FS22, is I use Google Drive or Microsoft OneDrive, Dropbox, whatever. There are a dime a dozen these cloud storage companies. And basically, you can upload a large amount of data to these cloud storage companies, typically for free or very low cost. And what I do is I create a folder in the storage provider. I'll upload the DLC that I downloaded, and then I will upload a text file, and the text file will basically have in it the eShop link and the activation link. And basically I'll put both of those into the folder that is aptly named the DLC that has the contents of the folder stored in it. And then it's just up there in cloud storage. And I have a copy of it local on my machine. I'll have a copy of it on any other computer that I might have. It's also stored in the cloud. So if I ever reload the computer, get a new computer, whatever, replace the hard drive, I won't have to worry about losing the contents. Also won't have to worry about losing the contents of the email because, again, all the important information is stored in that cloud storage. So that's what I do, is I store everything in Google Drive, OneDrive, Dropbox, Box, whatever, a cloud storage provider. Then you don't have to worry about losing it. It's pretty darn hard to lose it in cloud storage unless you somehow get locked out of the account. All right, so let's see what we get for this load of bales. I'd be really curious to follow up on Friday and see if maybe we're getting more today than Friday as far as our bale sales go. $181,000, so we are 19,000. Sorry about that. $19,000 short of our $200,000 goal to pick up field 7. We'll obviously want to pad our bank account a little bit more than $200,000 so we don't worry about, running short. But let's just see. Field 7, we need $231,000. We're 50 grand short. So that is a little different of a story. Yeah, I kind of want to go out owning that field. I think it'll just feel a little better knowing that we've increased our land ownership by 1 extra field than having 3 fields at the start, having 3 fields at the end. They are, to some respect, different fields than we had at the start, but I would like to go out owning more fields than we did at the start. Plus, that particular field makes sense because it's fairly close to this field. It's close to field 8 that we picked up. Natural progression would be to continue to buy fields close to the farm here as they become available. So let's see what we get. So 24 bales and so we got, this was a pretty good payout there, wasn't it? $6,400 for 24 bales. Pretty good payout. We're going to go ahead and do this a few more times, just to pad out our bank account a little bit more. Now, what we're going to do is I want to close out the video. I want to talk about a mod idea that I think would be really, really cool. And that is if in FS22 someone came up with the ability to lease land. So in FS17 there was a mod called the Bank of Hagenstadt, and the Bank of Hagenstadt let you lease land. So you could basically lease the land via the Bank of Hagenstadt, and you would have to make loan payments on your land over time. And that's what I'd like to see come back in FS22, is the ability to lease property. And I'd like to maybe see it expanded to where you had the ability to maybe pay based on crop share. Maybe there was a fixed monetary amount that you had to pay every calendar year, and since we have seasonal cycles built in, maybe we have to pay, you know, X $1,000 per hectare of farmland as a base fee. So even if we put nothing in the ground a given year, we have to pay a certain amount of money for the right to be able to keep that field idle, and then arrange a sort of profit share percentage with the landowner, so that when we basically harvested our crop off of that field, then maybe some amount is deducted off of our bank account based on the calculated yield of that field and the current price for that particular crop. Or I don't know, some other way. I'll let the mod author try to figure out how to basically do the profit share. I think it'd be cool that you could set up a percentage, prearrange a percentage, and then you could lease the land from year to year. And maybe if you had a good year, then maybe your percentages change from year to year because you had a really good year. If you have a really bad year, maybe your percentages increase on the following year because it wasn't that profitable for the landowner to lease out his land. But yeah, that's what I'd like to see, is the return of some sort of land leasing mechanism to Farm Sim 22. So that, I'm going to go ahead and close out the video. I want to thank you all for coming out and watching on midweek, Hump Day, Griffin, Indiana. Hope you all are enjoying the FS22 news that we are putting out. If you weren't aware, the channel does put out Farming Simulator 22 news videos, then please go check out my FS22 news playlist You'll find it linked in the upper right corner. Just click the exclamation point and see what all the fuss is about, because I try to do news videos that are not only entertaining and educational, but also worth your time to watch. Otherwise, you just go read the blog post. You'll get the same amount of information, right? I want to make it worth your while to watch my video about the news you can get from somewhere else. So until next time, happy farming.